So there's one lens you hear so much about, the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter 1.8. How good is it? This is definitely a really good lens. I mean, it's super sharp, and if you're talking about t-stops, it has a t-stop of 1.8 at f1.8. That's great. That means it's actually a bright lens. You'll hear so much about people giving you a low f-stop number and talking about how bright of a lens it is, but t-stops, that's where it's at. And I would say when you're looking at lens reviews out there, you see a lot of people, that's one thing that they don't really consider showing you when they do these reviews is how far is the throw of the focus from one end to the other. And if you're using a follow focus, then you want to make sure that you have a follow focus that has hard stops that you could set on it. It'll give you a really sharp image, really nice image, but the focus throw is really short on it. And it's not bad, but the thing is once you're manual focus, you turn it, it hits the stop, and then it'll keep on turning past that. So you can't just say like, I'm gonna go all the way to where it stops to the other end. It keeps pulling through it. So that's one thing that definitely bugs me about this lens. One of the tricks you might use for a lens is maybe put a piece of tape on there so you can mark where you're gonna do your stops at for pulling focus. But with this, you know, you have your mark set up. If you turn it past there, well, now your marks are all screwed up. So that's one thing. If you do have a follow focus and you could set the stops, that's good. It's basically a third of a turn to go from one end to the other. And for a lens like this, that's really wide open and you have that really super short depth of field, it's really hard to work with in that case. Now you could definitely learn to work with this lens, but you have to be real conscious that you're working with such a short throw, because sometimes just little micro adjustments is all you really need to move from in focus to out of focus, especially when you're working close up on something. And one other thing about this lens, as far as a shortcoming, is its weight for doing video. So when I have it set up on a shoulder rig, it's not that big of a deal. On a shoulder rig with a follow focus, you know, I have that weight on my shoulder, so not a big deal. But then, you know, I have a 3-axis gimbal. I can't use this lens on that. It's too heavy and it's really too long. So I'm kind of disappointed there. So that really sums up just a couple of things about this lens that I don't hear a lot about in other reviews. You know, I think it's an excellent lens. It's a wonderful lens, but when you're doing video work, it's a little bit hard to work with, and you just have to keep that in mind if you are going to buy this lens. You know, I don't think that you'll be disappointed in this lens, but you will find it harder to work with than some other lenses with a longer throw. And again, something that has hard stops that doesn't move through at the end of its range. Otherwise, I think it's a wonderful lens. I think you wouldn't be disappointed in this lens. I think it's a wonderful lens and you'd enjoy working with it. But at the same time, there are a couple of shortcomings when you're using it for video work. So it's something to keep in mind if you are going to buy this lens. I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.